Hey everybody, Chris here, coming to show you some more yard sale and thrift store finds. It's a pretty special episode because I have found a game that I've never found before, pretty rare game. It's pretty excited to find it. And yeah, I'll just show it to you first. Finally found Fireball Island. 8 years I've been thrifting. I've never come across even a piece of this. But yeah, so found Fireball Island. It's one of those games. Is a little bit of a preview there of it. It's one of those games kind of like Tornado Rex, where it kind of interacts with the board. It's not just a regular game. Yeah, pretty hard to find. Pretty expensive. Just the board itself, I think, can go for like $100. As you can see, it's not the greatest condition. It's got a lot of drawing on it. It's got drawing on the back. Probably not going to try to take too much of it off because then it'll just take the color of the box off. But anyway, yeah, so I was pretty excited to find this. Kind of like check it off the list of super rare games I found. It's up there with Dune, Tornado Rex, not the most rare, but a few other great finds. So yeah, I was pretty happy to find that. It's missing the balls. But everything else is there, so possibly $200, maybe three, somewhere in there. I might see how much balls go for. Probably like 30 or 40 bucks for a set, but yeah, so super excited to find that. And yeah, let's get to the rest of the stuff now. So let's come down here. Got a Sony CD player. There's $3.99 at Savers. A little cleaning up, but works fine. Should get about 50 on that one. And then over here, I got a Polaroid 300 camera, which is the first time I've ever found one of these. Found a Fuji one, which looks pretty much the same, works the same. But yeah, that works fine. I think those go for about 50 right now. Next to that, Polaroid 1-600. That, $30 right now. I paid $5 for the 300 and a game. I'll show you in a little bit. And I think I paid $5 for the 600 with another game, which hopefully I can remember. No, I think I just bought that by itself. Come over here, we got a couple of Lexmark 34 inks. These go for about $15 to $20 a piece. Then we got a Game Boy Advance SP. It's the AGS 101, the more desirable one, and the original DS. Kind of worn out there, but yeah, $10. I got these, and I got a couple games. I'll show you in a bit. Should get about 65 to 70 for the SP, and about 40, maybe 45 for the DS. Above that is a copy of Sonic 2/Sonic and Tails for Game Gear. I bought a Game Gear for $9.99 at a local thrift store. Just wouldn't turn on. Might try and find. I think the Genesis 2 power adapter works with it, so I'll plug that into that before I call it quits on it. But I don't think it's gonna turn on. Another game I'll show you in a bit at the same thrift store. Then I got this Apple mouse, this really old iPod, and these two shuffles. I paid $4 at a yard sale for those. The old iPod won't turn on. It's actually this. I think this is also my last video, but this is a 15 gig. Another one where the size doesn't really make sense. But yeah, 15 gig iPod of that doesn't work. The two shuffles work fine. Should get about 35 to 40 for those. The mouse works fine. I think that'll go for about 25, 30. This is actually an iPod Touch, second gen. It just fit better if I swapped it. That I paid $7 at the yard sale for. That'll go for about 35, 40 because it comes with headphones and the original box. Usually I go for about 30 if it's just the cable and the iPod. And then across the street from that, I got this one for $5, iPod Mini. It was working fine, but now it just kind of has this image on the screen. I guess I'll try plugging it in. The battery seemed fine. At first it had trouble connecting, but then it connected fine, and now I don't know. So I'll find out about that, but that'll go for about 25, 30. And then I picked this one up. I think it was $10 at a yard sale. Or it might be, I might have talked them down a little bit, but iPod Nano Gen 5 works fine. Should get about, I think, 70 or 80 on that one because it's a 16 gigabyte. And then another yard sale. They came out with the Gen 2 Nano. And they wanted $40 for it, and it wouldn't even turn on. It was pretty dirty, so I went ahead and passed on that. It's always annoying when people look up what stuff's going for, and then don't even consider like how busted it is. But anyway, then we'll go to these board games and systems over here. Got a copy of Catan Family Edition. It was $1 at a yard sale. Actually, I got an email later that day, or it might have been yesterday, that Catan, Z-Man Games, Mayfair Games, and one other thing are all becoming gated on Amazon, which is really annoying. But I guess I'll throw this one up on eBay, probably get about $20, $25 for it. More and more things becoming gated on Amazon. It's kind of annoying, and you can't really get ungated from something unless you have invoices from a wholesaler. Receipts don't really work from like Savers or anything like that. I don't know. I'll make it work somehow. And then go over to here. Accidentally fell. I got a copy of Buffy Vampire Slayer. I think this was only $3.99 at Savers. Didn't even check to see if it was complete. I think I have a copy or two lying around still, or at FBA or something. But still about $40-$50 game. And then next to that's another copy of Axis and Allies. I still have the last one hanging out up there. But haven't checked. It's too many pieces to check in store. But it looked much more promising. So I'm hoping it's complete. If not, I'll combine the two. I'm sure between the two I'll have one complete copy. Again, about $50, $60 it'll go for. And above that is a sealed copy of Risk. I think this is a 70s or 80s version. I paid $2 at the yard sale. The guy said he paid $2 at the yard sale for the copy and never opened it. I think it'll go for about $50 because it's sealed. I think last time I had a copy of this one, it sold for like $30 used. I think I had to FBA it. Took quite a while, but sealed copy much more likely to sell. And then got a pretty good deal. I met this guy who's pretty cool at the yard sale. Got a bunch of games. He said he sold out of the video games, but then they went back inside. He said he just hadn't priced out these other ones. But I think for $55, I ended up walking away with there's some 360 games I'll show you in a bit, but all these games. He kind of threw in Uncharted. It's sealed, but it's super beat up. Yeah, you can see there's rips in the shrink and stuff. So at this point, it wouldn't be considered new. But I don't know. Maybe I'll give that one a go. I don't know really how much it goes for, but yeah, got that. Got Flux, the board game. It's only about $15-$20. Got Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle Earth, which I'd never heard of, like a card game version of that. I think that's about $15-$20. Sealed copy of Munchkin. Food Fight, which I'd heard of a while ago. All the contents are sealed, like the cards, and then the little bits. They're pretty much unused. Everything's unused. But looking at this, it looks like new is going for like $80. So I think opened, I can probably get about $60 for it, maybe $65. And then a sealed copy of Grimoire. Z-Man Games. I couldn't list it on Amazon. So I'm not really sure how much this one goes for. But sealed, I would guess $30 to $40 at minimum. And then a copy of Munchkin Zombies. And a copy of Super Munchkin. The cards are sealed. I think I have Super Munchkin. I know I have Munchkin Zombies. I know I have regular Munchkin. So, actually none of these will end up going into my collection. Might give Food Fight a try. I'm not really sure. But yeah, and then there were some 360 games I'll show you in a bit. Show you this stack of games first. Yard sale, tough negotiation. You'll see. I guess I'll throw it at the end of this video. This guy brought out a box of original Nintendo games and Game Boy game boxes, just complete copies of games. And he brought those out. He brought out a bunch of PS2, Xbox, DS, N64. He just brought out a ton of games because that's he had games. But then he just wanted twice the value they were going for, like online. He wanted like $80 to $100 for a copy of Zelda. He had like Zelda 2. He wanted just as much for that. But he was actively looking them up on eBay as I was asking how much he wanted for this stuff. I thought I was gonna walk away from there with like throwing down $100, maybe $200 for everything, but I ended up spending $37, and I got an okay pile of games. I had to keep taking games out that he was just overvaluing like crazy. But yeah, this is what I ended up with. It's kind of mixed between another one. But DuckTales was the one NES game I walked away with. Then a copy of Final Fantasy VII, which disc one didn't end up working, and it's like a former rental, so that was kind of a bummer. Just kind of move these aside. Got a copy of Final Fantasy IX, which you know, not a high value there. These I got somewhere else. A copy of Final Fantasy VIII, which again, only because it was black label did I even bother. And then one of these, I think it was Chronicles. I think I got Final Fantasy Chronicles. And then I'll show you the others in a few. I'll go through these other games first. But I didn't even get any of the DS games. He didn't even want to go inside and find them. He didn't want to find any of the Game Boy stuff. I don't know why he brought it all out in the first place if he wasn't really willing to part with any of it. It was kind of strange, but anyway. Then another yard sale. I guess I'll show you these. These I got with the SP and DS, just Nintendogs, and then Crash Mind Over Mutant. I still have a copy of that lying around, but I think that goes for about $20, $25. 10 dogs will go for about like 3 or 4. But then another yard sale, I paid I think $30. I got these. I got Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VII. This copy does work. A little beat up. I had to replace the case. Final Fantasy Anthology, and then a few more games I'll show you in a bit. Paid $30. Definitely a better value. Then just at Salvation Army, I was surprised to find this. I think this was $3.99. Got Dragon Quest IX. Still never played this. Might keep this copy, might not. I have a lot of games to get through on my backlog. But yeah. And then a copy of Wii Sports came with that Wii console over there. I paid $20 for that altogether. I guess I almost forgot about this PS3. I paid $37 for the PS3 there. Has a controller, has the wires. And also got a copy of Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. So I think the PlayStation go for about $100, and this will go for about 10. So a decent deal there. And then with those iPods, yeah, I paid $4 for that, and I paid an additional $1 for Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. I don't remember how much it goes for. I just figured I'd grab it. It was the only decent game he had. And then at that thrift store, I got the Game Gear, got a copy of Mario Kart Wii. This was $2.49. Every game there is always $2.49. That's what I like about it. They had a Wii separate. Like this was with the games, and then the Wii was with the electronics, and there was a bunch of games in the bag with it, but they were just destroyed. The Wii looked like it had like a real bad time. So I ended up passing on, even though it was only $20. It probably would have worked, but I don't know. I just ended up throwing half of the stuff away. But then these came with that $30 lot with the the nice negotiation. Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 1, Xenosaga, which they valued the most, oddly. But Xenosaga Episode 2 and Persona 4. I thought Persona 4 would go for more, but I think new copies it's still only like $20. But yeah, that was for $30. Got that plus that other stack. Then back to the hard negotiation guy. Pretty much the only reason I ended up paying what I paid was because of this and one of the other games I'll show you in a second. So, a complete copy of Wind Waker looks pretty good. And I'm getting Knights of the Old Republic. This is one of the games I probably should have tossed out to make it less, because it just really doesn't go what it used to for a while. And then Master Quest. I was really surprised he was so willing to let go of the GameCube Zeldas for so much less than the original Zeldas. I mean, they were boxed, but either way, roughly the same value, maybe a little bit more. But he wanted to keep his Ocarina of Time for N64. I didn't get any N64 games in the deal. There wasn't too many, but I asked when he'd played any of them last, and he's like, "Oh, I don't really ever play video games." So I don't know what the deal was with him, but yeah. So then got Silent Hill 2 was also in that deal, or I already sold it for $24, so I'm already over halfway back to what I spent. So it was an okay deal, but it could have been really great, and it was just okay. Another yard sale. Oh, this is what I paid. This is what I got with the blue Polaroid. I paid $5. Got the blue Polaroid and Soul Calibur 5. And this goes for about 10 still. And then back to the board games guy, who was pretty cool. $55 board games plus Spyro Into the Dragonfly, Magna Carta 2, Divinity 2, Mugen Souls, Infinite Undiscovery, and Operation Darkness, and a sealed copy of Shadows of the Damned. I assumed some of these would have been like okay value. I mean, I don't think any of these go for more than 10. This one might. But I just figured, Atlas, Square Enix, more Atlas that I'd never heard of would be worth more, but they're not really not. I think Magna Carta 2 is like 15 or 20 though. And Shadows of the Damned will go for about 10 sealed. PS3 it's more valuable. It's kind of weird. But I would attribute it to Xbox 360 isn't really a home for people who like RPGs. So they made a ton of copies and the demand isn't very high. So if all those games are on PS3 or PS2, they'd probably be worth a bunch. And then last, this was the game I got with the Polaroid 300, a sealed copy of Super Mario All-Stars. $5 for that and this. Only yard sale I got to on Sunday because my band had a show in Alston during the day. It was pretty fun, but yeah, only thing I managed to get to. Yeah, and that was it. Once again, super pumped about Fireball Island. Not really sure what the next rare game that I need to check off my list. It'd probably be Advanced Heroescape or something like that, or some kind of Warhammer board game from a while ago. But anyway, yeah. So like, subscribe, comment, share, and yeah. Well, weekends are kind of thinning out as far as yard sales go, but I'm still hoping I'll be able to get a bunch out of that, and I'm definitely gonna hit up the thrift stores a lot more than I have been. So yeah. All right. Bye everyone.